Hello and welcome to another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Tune in weekly as Donnie and David discuss all things pyro, from the business aspect of the industry to technical tips and mesmerizing pyro designs. On Pyro Unleashed, we invite cutting-edge experts to the podcast to discuss their role in making this industry a success. So, sit back and unleash your inner pyro with us.
All right, here we are, week number 6.
How are you doing, Donnie?
Doing good. It's been a busy weather week around here, so.
Yeah, I was hearing you guys had a little bit of weather up there, over there, down there, wherever you're at across the country.
Yeah, I had back-to-back nights of some hailstorms. So.
Oh man, any damage to any
few
property?
Little dents on the pickup truck, but
Okay.
yeah, I'll have to get her fixed.
Yeah, insurance claim.
Yeah, always fun. But it's springtime in Missouri, so I never know what you're gonna get.
Snow, hail, rain, tornado.
Absolutely, we get it all this time of year. So, but yeah, episode number 6. Got a sponsorship here by Muxbird. We're going to connect more e-matches in less time with Muxbird. Whether you're using traditional or quick plug e-matches, Muxbird offers an alternative to standard slats on the market. Customize your firing system and work smarter with slats, breakout boards, and conversion kits from Muxbird.com. That's MUUXBRD.com to improve your workflow and get the most out of your firing system. As a thank you for supporting Pyro Unleashed and Muxbird, get a free quick split breakout board with your next order before March 31st when you mention Pyro Unleashed when you place your order. Go to muxbird.com/unleashed for more details.
And once again, don't want to sound like a broken record, but CJ, thank you again. We really do appreciate it. Love the support. Yeah, thanks to everybody that's supporting CJ over at Muxbird. I think he's doing a phenomenal job. I think I just seen a couple days ago, he just released a new slat. Am I right? Did you see that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's definitely doing some good stuff over there. So, small business type of guy, kind of producing some stuff for the pyro community. So go there and help him out a little bit, support him, and pick up some slats.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this week we actually do not have a guest. I know the last couple of weeks we did. Guests will start back up next week. I have a great lineup next week, and the week after that, I think it's just you and I again, Donnie. And then after that, we have another guest. We're going to have Joel with Pyroland over across the country there, and really looking forward to talking to him and seeing how the firework industry differs from what it is over here in Michigan or even in Missouri, Indiana area, wherever. Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, I've talked with Joel at like PGI and stuff a few times, and he's always at Skywars, and really super cool guy. They're super friendly, great to talk to. They will just sit there and talk to you, talk, and so I'm definitely excited to be able to talk with him and ask him questions and see how they're going with their stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was just texting him, and he said, if we're gonna do this, we got to make it fast because they're already picking up over there. So I do understand. I'm already working 6 or 7 days a week. Nothing wrong with it. Just just busy. It's good.
Yep. Fireworks season is up on us.
It is coming. It's coming fast. So, all right. Well, a little recap on last week. I want to say thanks again to Craig Hetherington for coming on and having a chat with us. Also, another huge shout out to James and to AJ. Really looking forward to working with them and creating some really nice pyro musicals at PGI. Thanks to Craig again for talking about kind of giving us the insider scoop on the shows. That was awesome, man. I'm really, really glad we got to do that, and really looking forward to it. I think our listeners are looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Sunday we got NLP there with the national anthem.
Yeah.
Pyroland is doing a show there,
Joel,
so we'll be able to talk to Joel about that.
Yeah,
and
for
then
sure.
the RKM takeover
The
Sunday
RKM
night. So I'm
takeover.
going to kind of be excited to see what you guys got all cooked up for that. And then Wednesday we had the JPA with the national anthem, and then also doing their own show on top of that.
Yeah.
He said there was going to be the Old Stars, North Star Fireworks, and Big Sky.
Yep. Looking forward to
So
those.
not as familiar with North Star and Big Sky, but
Okay.
definitely will be some some good shows, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would assume as much. I don't think PGI. They usually pick the cream of the crop, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what they produce for sure. And then yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah.
looking
The,
like
the old the Old Stars ones are usually one of my favorites, man. You get to see some really cool stuff in the Old Stars, when they're hand lighting all that big
yeah,
stuff. So
and maybe some potential news about a hand fire competition. That would be really cool to see. It'd be unique, something that I don't think anybody's ever seen before.
yeah, definitely would be interesting to kind of see how that would potentially work out and what that would look like. Yeah, I'm so interested to see what Craig kind of comes up with if they can figure something out for a hand fire competition. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely would. And then you have the inside scoop on Friday night. Then
Yeah, Friday night he had the Dominator National Anthem Friday night.
yeah, sounds like
So
you're going to be shooting
also
that.
being
Looking
shot
forward
by
to that.
somebody on the show here.
Yeah.
Um, had the Builder Showcase, and then he did mention that this is likely going to maybe the last year for the Pyro show.
Yeah, I did hear that.
That
Yeah.
Derek wanted to take some time off, so
Huge shout out to Derek though.
um,
Appreciate all the time and effort you've been putting into that. It's always been a great show. Look forward to seeing that every year. So
oh yeah, yeah, and all the people who go in, to put that show together for the week and how they kind of make that show happen is actually really kind of cool. That's all made there on site. So
yeah, most definitely.
and then closing out Friday night in the convention is going to be the Spirit of 76 Verge Arrow show. I would imagine Dan Haynes will have something cooked up for us for that drone pyro kind of
Yeah, you
combination.
never
So
know. He's yeah. I know when we were talking, I was telling him a couple things, and he's like, "Yeah, you got to stop telling me, man, because I'm gonna start stealing your ideas." So, well, yeah, never know. We'll never know what he's gonna cook up until he does it. So, really looking forward to that. I know Peter Rogos has his hands in that now too, and he's gonna be producing some. I mean, he always does really good displays. I always look forward to seeing his shows. I mean, he did the Mother's Day tribute at CobraCon last year, and I know he's done quite a few other musicals with other companies. So yeah, really looking forward to that.
yeah, yeah, the lineup this year looks pretty darn good this
Most
year. So it's
definitely.
going to be like a good year for shows at PGI, where PGI is not typically known as a show event. Essentially, it's more of
Right.
a builders type event, and so I think they've taken a really good step forward with some of these groups we got shooting some shows, making this some high quality shows this year.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've even kind of heard about some of the new classes and some of the new competitions, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some of those. So I'm sure they'll be announcing all that. We didn't get the um, release on all that, but when the time is here, they'll release all that, and really looking forward to seeing those. So
Yeah, I'm sure we could probably get the inside scoop on classes as well, maybe. So we could probably reach
yeah,
out and
yeah. You never know what we're gonna come up with, right? So.
absolutely.
Uh, PGI date, we're looking at August 3rd through the 10th. Um, so that's going to start on a Saturday, and then always starts off with a a bang. And
Right.
then
Yep.
we'll do our show on Sunday, and then the PGI convention lasts throughout the that remaining week. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Um,
and then registration opens up on May 1st.
May 1st.
So everybody want to be on the lookout for registration. And then obviously, as we get closer to PGI, class registrations will open up as well for everybody. So,
Yeah, perfect. Volunteering. Really encourage you to volunteer this year if you're able to. Um, like Craig said, I mean the opportunities are endless. If your specialty is cooking food or hospitality, why they got something for you. If you're a police officer, you're a civil servant. Um, Please sign up for security. I know it's a time to get away from the work, but really you're there hanging out with a bunch of buddies, and it's really not gonna seem like work. I know, Donnie, you're saying you're gonna be um, doing some volunteering. I'm gonna do my best, most definitely, to be out there volunteering. I know between setting up a couple shows and then I'll be doing some trade show and vending. I'll be pretty busy, but most definitely I'm going to see what I can do to help out because without the volunteers, PGI is really nothing. So
No, yeah, absolutely, yeah, yeah. It's essentially an entire volunteer event. So
yeah,
all of the staff there helping out are all volunteering. So, yeah, if you have time, hop in, take a volunteer shift, help out. Whether that's like you mentioned, fire med, security, registration,
yeah,
different type of things. So definitely hop on and check some of that stuff out and get a little closer as well.
yeah. All right. So what have you been working on, Donnie?
Oh man, just working on a couple scripts for we have a club shoot coming up here in about a month. Actually happens to be the same night CobraCon.
Okay.
KCAP has a club shoot here in the Kansas City area, and so I think we've got about 4 or 5 pretty good shows are going to be happening that night here in the Kansas City. So if you're in the Kansas City area and want to come check out KCAP, reach out to me. To get you guys to come out and kind of watch some of the stuff we put on for a night. So
And by watch, he means
we'll be
help
doing
put some
that.
stuff up, help plug in a
No,
couple cues.
I mean we'll have plenty of volunteers there to
All
put
right.
put show together.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
mean, if you want to be a member of KCAP, opportunity, come out and check us out, become a member, and get to see some stuff. But yeah, working on a 1-3 show for the club event.
Okay.
So should be kind of good. So I got about I don't know about 8-9 minute show and probably running close to 1,000 cues or so. So
Okay.
working
Yeah,
on
that's good.
kind of wrapping that up. We're going to do another little fun little combo firing system kind of show again.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
last month we did the little Cobra Fire Tech test.
Yeah.
So we're going to ramp that up. We're going to ramp it up this time and do a little bit of a bigger show and see, make sure we can still keep the timing and stuff in sync between the two. So
Okay. Yeah, no, I
having
look
some more
forward to seeing
fun with
that.
that.
Yeah. Actually, if I
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
going
kind
to
of
be at CobraCon, I genuinely would drive down. I would love to see this, man. That's seeing two different firing systems work. Um, it's interesting. I mean, you have two different system builders, and they've allowed, integration between the two. Um, yeah, I mean, kudos to you, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing it, and um, yeah,
in theory, when you're using SMPTE or in time code, you could, in theory, use any firing systems in combination with each other. I mean, you could put every single one of them all together to do a single show as long as they all accept, the time code. And so that's kind of the basis behind the process. We feed time code into each one and, run your audio separately and hopefully they all stay in sync is the plan.
So, which firing system are you using as your main, or does it not? Does it not have
I,
like
I don't
a
use I don't use
main?
either one. So yeah, I use my laptop to push the time
Oh,
code.
okay,
So the time code runs out of my laptop and then splits off and goes into each remote.
okay,
And then the audio then is the other channel that comes out of the laptop and goes into your sound system. So neither system is driving each other. I mean, you technically, in theory, you could.
right,
You can use the audio box, one channel, one side of the audio box, and you can push time code, or the same thing with FireTech. FireTech can push time code out as well. So in theory, we could push it from one system to the other, but
okay,
just for simplification and to mitigate maybe some risk,
yeah,
just push it from the laptop, and that way neither system is controlling the other essentially.
yeah. I mean, have you ever thought about doing other, like Cobra and maybe Mongoose or FireTech and Mongoose, or there's a number of firing systems out there. Have you thought about, you know, doing combinations in all those? Maybe doing three at a time. I don't know if that's a possibility. I mean,
I
if you
mean,
need that many
we
cues,
joked, right? Yeah, we after our club shoot in February, we tested the first time. It kind of because we have some club members that do use Mongoose, and I was like, well, hey,
yeah,
next year we're gonna have to do all three of them together next year and see if we make it work. So, in theory, you could do it. So it's something that we might even play with even down the road. Maybe something else is adding a third one in there and see what happens. It just opens up the possibilities when you're trying to put on large shows and you're trying to
right,
come up with enough modules to do a large show. If you can't get all of one firing system, this is a way for us to be able to test. Can we add a second firing system in to get the extra channel, the extra, cues you need?
yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I'm intrigued. I'm really looking forward to hearing the outcome on that and seeing how true and how tried and true that time code actually stays. Because I know Cobra's what within thousandths of a second, I believe. So if they can keep up with that, and I'm sure that FireTech is going to be doing about the same, then yeah, I'd be intrigued to see how this goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it kind of goes on. The last show we just did was like 30 seconds, but this will be, an 8 or 9 minute show. So we'll be able to see, how well they stay in sync throughout the entire show. So, yeah, it'll be good. Be a good test.
Yeah. So are you using like Cobra on like the left side and FireTech on the right, or how are you doing it this time?
Actually, in this show, it's going to. So in the last one, we had two positions. One was each one, and so actually in this one, it's going to essentially be every other position on the field.
Okay.
So I have seven main positions. I'm just going to rotate every other position. One will be fire tech, one will be Cobra, and then most of the 1-3 will probably be Cobra, and then I'll have some fire tech mixed in on my front line. So they'll be intermingled in with each other. So we'll definitely be able to see how that timing flows when you do your runs back and forth across the field. You're going to be able to see how well that stuff lines up. So it'll definitely be something that's gonna be fun. I'm kind of excited for it. So
Yeah.
Zach from KCAP, he has the fire tech. He's working with me on it. So
Yeah. No, that'd be interesting.
yeah. So what do you? I know you're working on a couple of projects.
I
You know, so
am.
what are you kind of working on right
Yeah.
now? What are
So,
you getting ready for?
well, I mean, the same weekend you're going to be busy doing that test. As I mentioned, I'll be at CobraCon. I'm doing two shows there. One of which is for Dominator on Saturday night. I am opening the night. I'm doing the national anthem. And then I think I've mentioned it here once or twice, but I'm actually going to be doing the closing show for all of CobraCon. So really looking forward to that. Appreciate Scott and Dan and the guys over at Cobra for allowing RKM the opportunity to represent Night Owl product. That's primarily what we're going to be using. I know we have some Dominator in there, so yeah, really looking forward to it. I think we're going to have some Hoku and we're going to have some Chuang Mei fireworks. Both of their products going to be in there as well. So nice collaborative effort. And then the first time that I am actually using DMX. I'm really looking forward to doing some fireworks and DMX. I know we have some fuel mines planned out there as well. So trying to bring as many different mediums as we can to the show and show off. I mean, Cobra is not just meant for fireworks anymore. Really, it's I mean, DMX and you can incorporate your drone show in there now after you scripted it. You can lay it over and see exactly how everything's going to mingle and mesh. So I know drones we're not able to do those this year, but um, yeah, I mean really looking forward to it. I mean it's going to be a great event. Um, yeah, so if you're out there, come see us. I know I'm going to be arriving on April 10th. We're going to be getting to Muncie on April 10th, and I will be there through pretty early on the morning of the 14th. We'll be leaving, I'm guessing. So we'll be heading back to Michigan super early Sunday morning. So yeah.
So are both those shows the same day, or are they on different days?
No, they are. Yeah, they're the same day.
Okay.
And then on top of that, I'm actually going to be teaching a class on product selection and music selection. So that'll be something new for me. I've never really taught a class, so I'm probably going to be quite nervous. I know James is going to be in there as well. We're both going to be kind of co-teaching that. And I'm not saying I'm the best at music selection. I'm not saying I'm the best at product selection, but I have been doing it for quite some time, and I feel like I do have some knowledge. So I'd love to share what I know and help out those that are just getting into the hobby. Yeah, really looking forward to that. So
So which comes first, the product or the music?
music always comes first. Always,
Always.
always. Yep.
So then when you're scripting, do you script the product you have, or do you just script the way you feel and hope you can find the product later?
It's funny. It's kind of sometimes it's both. So I'll pick my music, which I don't know how long it takes you, Donnie, but me personally, I mean that can be the hardest thing in the world for me. I mean,
Oh, 100%, 100%.
it's
Yeah,
the
it
worst
takes
part
forever
of
to find
it,
it.
really, because I mean, there's so many good songs you want to do, and then you're like, oh, I feel like this has been done, so you try and send, maybe the song to your buddy, and you're like, have you seen this anywhere? And then with Cobra Show Creator and Finale 3D, you can put your, your VDLs or your videos up on YouTube. And so, yeah, it might not have been done, but somebody's done a rendering of the show. So it's like, well, then you got to pick through and, well, do I want to do that? Do I want to do the same thing as what they've already done? So it's grueling time to, yeah, just it's a struggle.
No, yeah, I think it'd be good. So
Yeah.
I've never been to CobraCon. So
Mhm.
is that the same spot every year they have it? They have it at the same place?
So this year and last year are the same spot. The year before it was in Fort Wayne in a different location. But primarily, yeah, they try and keep it in the same location. Um, it's just kind of the most centralized location from my understanding, it's the most centralized location for all the Cobra users. Um, so that's why they try and host it in Indiana.
So the site you're shooting at, what is it, like a big site, or are you kind of restricted on your size and your space?
Yeah, really restricted. So you have bleachers, and then yeah, I think it's like 500 feet away. There's a road, and then houses right beyond that. So we're limited to using consumer. So 62s is the biggest that we use, and yeah, I'm using them, but it's really it's tight. Can't You can't angle them back for sure. I mean, if we're looking at any wind direction in any way, we're gonna have to kind of combat that and angle it so it doesn't, break over the crowd, over the event goers, or over the houses behind us. So I know we're doing, I think it's 9 cake positions, and in our cake positions, we also have our single shot shells and whatnot. Um, and then we have our single shots on those as well. And then I'm going to have 7 towers, and then I think it's 9 ultra fronts. So that's going to be some flames and gerbs. And on the towers, we're going to be doing, flames and gerbs as well. But we're going to have some chasing mines on there. So yeah, I don't know, it's just some different stuff. Should all turn out pretty good though. And then, like I said, yeah, we're working with some DMX, and I don't think I've ever seen it done what we're gonna do. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna let it stay a secret until we actually shoot the show, or I might talk about it in the class a little bit as to what we're doing. The audio track might leak a little, but yeah, for the most part, I think again, maybe I'm wrong. I think I showed it to you, Donnie. I mean,
Yeah.
have you seen anything like that before?
I understand like that before, and I also I shared it with my wife a little bit,
Did
and
you?
I mean both of us absolutely loved it. And if we weren't having a club event, I would be at CobraCon just to watch the show live in
Yeah.
person because it's going to be that crazy of a show, and I think it's going to be that fun of a show that it's going to be one you're going to wish you were there in person to see. I think.
I really do. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I guess I'll let a little bit. It's it's going to be the club experience of CobraCon. We'll just say that. We'll just leave it there. Kind of get a little bit of anticipation for it. Yeah.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
So, also, I guess with some other current events that are out there. I mean, if you've been on Facebook lately, you've probably seen this thing going on, this Pyro TV show, Dave.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, what's your thoughts on a TV show competition of any kind?
Well, and coming from, my wife likes to watch drama shows. I like to watch drama TV shows. So I think there's got to be a level of drama in the show. So it's going to be intriguing to see that aspect of it, especially knowing that. I mean, I don't know who you work with, but if there's drama on the field, that's pretty unusual. So it's going to be interesting to see. Are they going to have to try and fake some drama to make it more entertaining? Are they just going to roll with it and see what kind of comes out of it? I mean, I know, what was it, Pyros? They were actually making things. From my understanding, they were making things up for drama purposes, like, oh, we forgot a box of match or something, and is that going to happen? I don't know. We'll see. But otherwise, I think it's a great opportunity. Yeah, it gets some people that might not get out in the public to do a musical, like you and I have done. I mean, really, we've been on some of the biggest stages in America. I mean, that's just how really how I see it. So, if we can get some new people coming in, maybe they're a backyard display guy, maybe they do script professionally. I'm looking forward to it, to be honest with you. I know there was maybe a little controversy on there was, I think, 2 of them that were out. and maybe who came out first. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm supporting both of them. I don't really see a negative aspect for either one of them. I mean, what's your thoughts, Donnie?
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, if you look out there in like reality TV, I mean, everybody copies everybody. There's multiple singing competitions and cooking
Right.
competitions and all these other competitions out there, and um, I don't think you can. I mean, I don't think you can limit it to just one and say there's only a market for one when there absolutely could be a market for multiples. And I think it's a cool idea. I think as long as you're incorporating, I think maybe some of the historical aspects of the profession and the fireworks and the beginnings, and they're trying to pass on what we're doing
Yeah.
to other generations, I think is
Mm-hmm.
what's important.
Very.
I think it needs to be more than just a competition, right? Like let's see the individual competitors and their lives, and how they get to this point and the people supporting them, and what they've gone through to be able to do this as their hobby and stuff like that. I think is important to showcase who they are, and then the hobby itself, and that fireworks is not a negative thing. I think there's a
No, it's really
in a
not.
lot of communities, a lot of places outside the pyro communities, people see fireworks as a nuisance, as a negative, and um, I think in a lot of cases it's the complete opposite. It brings people together a lot of times. Coming from a club aspect and being at Sky Wars, the entire club came together and rallied to support me as like a family and to help out. And I think that's what we want to see. I think in a TV show is that support, that family, to show this is a combined effort. And fireworks can be fun. It can be good. It can be in a safe environment, and give some opportunity for some of these maybe backyard people who wouldn't get exposure, an opportunity to maybe showcase some talent or even get some of that experience. Because from what it sounds like, these shows are looking for backyard people, so people who may not have any experience in e-firing potentially, or any, and have the opportunity to come out and try this.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe you know a little bit more than I. Like, are there going to be? I mean, obviously, I'm guessing there's judges, right? But are there going to be mentors? Do you know? I mean, are you familiar with any of that aspect? I mean, are there going to be somebody that's done bigger pyro musicals? Say like maybe you or myself or Dan Haynes or any one of them. Um, are there going to be people like that kind of guiding the way, teaching them, making sure everything's going safe?
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. I mean, if you look at like some of the music shows that are out there, you have your mentors that are working with the contestants. And my vision for a show like this would be, I would assume, would be something similar. You would have your professions, your people who have been in the business for a while, or maybe are mentors to a group, and maybe help give them ideas or push them along, or implement challenges, something like that. I personally have had some conversations with the crew from Versus, Tom, who just posted the other day. I've
Yeah.
personally have had some emails and some talks with him about the show. So I knew this was coming, and this has been in the pipeline for a little bit. And um, I got involved with them a few months ago, and so I've given them a lot of input on what I think a show like this would look like. My ideas. Um, Judging criteria. The type of format that I think would look good for a show like this. And so I personally feel like either one, both of them can be successful. It's just a matter of, can you get the format down, like you said. You need a little bit of drama,
Yeah.
and then in some cases that may have to be somewhat manufactured at some point. Like you said, box of match missing, or somebody forgot to pull a case of product, and all of a sudden they're scrambling around trying to find a replacement. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could do a lot of different challenges in a
Yeah.
show like this.
Oh yeah.
I think one of the big challenges, if it's a pyro musical, is going to be music selection, because a lot of music is copyrighted.
Yeah. 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 Do you think that there's going to be maybe some what's the word? Maybe some monkey wrenches thrown in, like okay, well here's for example, here's your box of fireworks. Well, there's 37 crackle balls, and you got to figure out how to script a pyro musical and make good use out of those crackle, like kind of how blind pyro is at Sky Wars, and you think some of those aspects will be brought into it as well?
Yeah, I think both shows. I know that the first one, I think, was being worked on by Tony. We saw him a couple years at Sky Wars. He was really interested in the blind pyro aspect of it, and I know that his show was at that time was really pushing around the blind pyro aspect of
Yeah.
it. And I think this other show as well, this new one here through Versus, I think they are a similar type of format. I think looking for maybe a blind pyro type of format and stuff like that. And I would envision where, maybe some weeks every team has the same song and you all have to
Okay.
script the same song and see who does a better song. Or maybe some weeks, you get a few songs to choose from and you have to, fight it out for who gets to get song selection. I mean, there could be a lot of different ways that they could do that. Like you said, there could be some monkey wrenches where, they give you all your product and then the day of when you're setting up, they say, hey, here's another box you have to squeeze in somewhere. Like they do at Sky Wars. There's always that surprise item they have to squeeze in. So um, I would expect a format like that, I would assume, going forward for either show.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think all those are always really intriguing, and I think I've mentioned it to you. I don't know if I've really mentioned it on here, but I think what would be really cool is a competition where maybe there's 3 teams, maybe there's 5 teams. I don't know, but each one of them are literally given the same amount of product. They're given the same audio track, be it maybe 5 minutes, be it 10, 15, whatever that would be, and create a professional pyro musical. I mean, down to, hundreds, thousands of a second, make it, single shots, ground bombs, gas mines, dolas, shells, all the way up to 8s, 10s, 12s, whatever. I think that would be interesting because, yeah, you're going to hear the same audio track 3 different times, but I can guarantee you neither one of them are going to look the same. You might have an aspect here, you might have something there, just because of, we all kind of interpret, you know, like a scream or a howl. Like, okay, well, there you go. Obviously, we're going to put, like a howling banshee in there or something like
Yeah.
that, right? But maybe your slower songs, everybody's, I hate to say they're stereotypical, but putting longer duration like horsetails or bigger shells that
Yeah.
last longer, right? Glittery effects. Yeah, I like that. I think it helps flow. It helps keep cohesion through throughout the whole Pyro musical. I mean, even in the industry, I think it helps keep the industry flow because you kind of almost anticipate that when you watch something. It's like fire, and I know this has been kind of on some. It's been talked about on some other podcasts, but I, yeah, I can see where it can be. Um, oh man, here we go again, fire, right? But at the same time, being that I'm a scripter, I also understand that for the general public, for the general population, they don't get a see Pyre musical 6, 7, 8 times a year,
Yeah.
and get bored from hearing fire in the rain, right? I mean,
Yeah.
gas mines and droopy white glittery shells. I mean, to me, that's just, I guess you would call that stereotypical, but it's just, it makes sense.
I think if you gave 4 teams all the same song, all the same product instead of here script it, it would force the teams to think about it differently
Yeah.
because all of a sudden they're going to think, okay,
Everybody
somebody
else is
here
going
is
to
going to
do
do
this.
this show the stereotypical type of way.
Exactly.
I don't want to be the one to do it that way.
Yeah.
So they're going to start using things completely differently than the other teams. And I think it would give you some really creative things and some really cool aspects of that. Like I think it'd be cool at Sky Wars for them to do the blind pyro and make all the teams use the same music and here's the same product.
I agree.
Now give us what you can do with that. And that evens the playing field, right? Because you have the same product, the same music. Now you get to see it all at the same time. And like you said, you would see every show would be different because everybody is going to try to force themselves out of their comfort zone and out of that stereotypical way that you would script a show. And so I
Right.
think it'd be really cool to see something like that.
Right. I mean, think about it. Not every painter is Picasso. You know, my sister's not going to
I think
paint the same way as Picasso or this, that, or the other. It's kind of funny, but I mean, really, that's just how it is. I mean, I'm not going to do the same thing that you're going to script. I mean, you might find something. For prime example, I did. You copied a thing in your show for Skywars, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I'm glad that you did because that shows me that I found something that somebody else was like, that's a really
Yeah.
cool idea. That makes me proud of myself? I don't know, maybe, but it just I look at that and I'm like, wow, I did something that somebody else wanted to do. And I'm not trying to talk me up. I'm not trying to talk you up. Again,
Yeah,
I've
no,
told you
absolutely.
before, I think it's a great thing. Um, there's always going to be that aspect, you know. I mean, who was the first person to think about putting a tower in the sky? And look at it now. Who was the first person to think about using meteor single shots and creating a flag? It started somewhere. I mean, they're
Oh
all
yeah,
great
absolutely.
ideas. So yeah, if it's a great
Yeah,
idea,
absolutely.
keep
Yeah,
it going.
all the great ideas start somewhere, and then people copy them, and then and then that kind of slowly, because as they get copied, people will change them, right?
Yeah,
So they'll try to make them a little bit different than the original, and then by the time you get to the end, you got something that's completely different and a whole new idea that spawned from that.
yeah. I mean,
So,
look at what
um,
Sean Howder did at Winter Blast. He did the flag, but he didn't fire it in groups of
yeah,
single shots. He had everything spaced out. He did the same thing,
yep, absolutely,
but it wasn't the same thing. It was different. Yeah, it's unique to
yeah,
see how everybody interprets something.
yeah, and I think too that's why I think a lot of these maybe some of these like Sky Wars. Yeah, we kind of mentioned last year at Sky Wars that we were really close to having two Taylor Swift
Yeah,
shows in the same night. And had we had two Taylor Swift shows, me and Mike Allen, the shows would look completely different.
they
I
would
mean,
have. I mean,
I
not
don't think
just
neither
because
one of us would have had the same show. We probably didn't even have the same songs and all the way across the
it
board. And
was
you would have
just the
seen two
theme that was the
completely different
same.
shows.
Right.
Yeah, it was just a theme. And so I think in those cases, people are worried about, hey, what happens if my music is the same as this other guy's music in the competition? We're going to have the same music, but you're going to have different shows.
You're gonna have different shows. Yeah, no
And,
matter
and you're
what.
going to be judged on the entire quality of the show and not just that, hey, you guys have the same music and your shows look differently. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. I just I don't know. We kind of got off on a weird tangent there, but I mean, it's all good. It's all good information. I mean, I don't know. Just yeah, I'm really excited to see how these TV shows come out. I'm sure you've watched the TV show that came out. I mean, several years ago called Pyros. Great show. If you haven't seen it, go find it and watch it. Yeah, I mean, there's some fake drama in there, but it's really good. I mean, just really cool to watch how not even just watching fireworks, but watching how another country sets up fireworks shows,
yeah.
seeing their struggles, their rules, their regulations, this, that, and the other. It's really cool and really unique for sure.
So, yeah. So whether you're supporting, either Pyro TV show out there, whether you support one or the other, I know there's a flyer in a recent one. I would encourage you guys to email the versus casting if you're interested. Send some information if you have questions. Email them, let them know. Um, I know it's being supported by Cobra and some
It
other people
is.
in the industry. Um, I have some involvement in that as well, so I'll clarify that as well. That's why I'm kind of supporting that one too. So, but yeah, just reach out to them and get involved in about that. So,
Yeah.
as we kind of position here, as we mentioned earlier, next week we're having Cobra on next week. So I thought we'd talk maybe a little about firing systems as we lead up into that one.
Yeah.
What's your firing system of choice?
Before Sky Wars last year, I probably would have told you for shooting bigger pyro musicals, I was all about using Starfire. Loved the system. My father-in-law had it, and Tim Jameson was gracious enough to let me borrow some of his system for the last 2 years that we shot it at Sky Wars. The first year, we had some complications, none of which were my fault, really. But last year, yeah, the music track was messed up, but um, the wireless system, and again, I'm not bashing, the designers of that. I mean, Ace is a really good company. Um, Everybody over there is phenomenal. So I would never bash them. That's not the intent, but um,
Yeah.
yeah, right now I'm partial to telling you, um, yeah, Cobra is great. I love Cobra. I've looked at, I've mentioned Mongoose. If RKM wasn't, dedicated to Cobra, I would have them look into Mongoose. I think it's a great system. I know you have connections with FireTech. What's your experience with that? I mean, obviously you've done the marriage of the two, but what other stuff have you done with FireTech, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple of people in the club who are heavy fire tech users, and I've seen them have some challenges with them occasionally as well. I mean, I think we all have some challenges with our firing systems. None of
Yeah,
the firing systems work perfectly. There's always human error
Right. Oh
involved,
yeah, for sure.
and 90% of the time, if it messes up, it's probably human error.
Oh yeah, no,
Like the firing
100%.
systems aren't at fault, and so um, I think Fire Tech has a good product. I mean, I know they're evolving as well, and
Hmm.
putting out some new updates and upgrades, and I've it does they do use a lot of cables, a lot of Cat 5, Cat 6 cables
Yeah.
when they do Fire Tech, but it looks like the system is. I mean, it's good. It has its own built-in audio box. It can take and send out time code. It's got a lot of different features, but personally, I've been on Cobra since I started into the e-firing side of things, and I'm happy with it.
Okay.
But we have Mongoose people in the club as well, and we have a lot of people who were like, if I were to start over again, I would go to Mongoose probably.
Yeah.
So there are some people in the club who do have that. Like if looking back, if I were to start over, I'd probably would switch to Mongoose. And so it's kind of interesting. I mean, there's a lot of different people out there, and there's people who are really hard fast. Like my firing system is the best one, and
Oh yeah.
I'm only using mine, and I won't use anything else.
It's just like a car. I've said it before. I mean, you have Ford people, you have Dodge people, you have Chevy people. You have people like me that I can't stand Ford, but you put me in a Chevy or a Dodge, and I'm great. I don't have a problem with either one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, it really is. Yeah, people really are very passionate about their firing system that they use, and
Yeah.
so I mean, I'm not committed to any one of them. That's why I took this challenge to try to see like how can we integrate these systems together, and so to prove the fact that we could and we can make them work together. So that way they don't all have to be like this one only works with this one and this one only works with this one, where we're proving the fact that we can merge them together.
Yeah. No, I'm intrigued to see. Like, I mean, I know we've talked, and I kind of know a little bit of behind the scenes as to what you're doing and why you're testing all this. More than maybe just the general public. But I have to say it again. Like, I am really excited to see what happens and why it happens, and just everything behind the testing that you guys are doing. Yeah, really excited to see it.
Yeah, and
So
and even for the like you have your backyard people out there. There are smaller systems out there. You don't
oh,
have to
there are.
jump right into a full-fledged Cobra or Mongoose or Fire Tech. There's some entry-level position stuff
Yeah, I
out
mean,
there. I mean,
Ignite is great.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have club members that have been using Ignite. I mean, they're new to e-firing, and they were like, want something simple, and they've been very happy with the Ignite system. You have some of those Chinese ones out there that are battery operated that people are happy with. I mean, they're good for the backyard person who just wants to sit there and maybe not necessarily script it, but just be able to sit back and watch their show. So yeah, there's a lot of options out there for people when it comes to firing system. But yeah, next week leading up into to Cobra with Scott and Zach, hoping to maybe talk a little bit about some new firmware versions coming up. Maybe
Yeah.
they've got any other hardware upgrades potentially coming.
Okay.
So I would say if anybody has any questions, might send them over us when we're going to be interviewing them. I think the same day this episode comes out. So if
Yeah,
you had any
we are.
questions, you probably would want to send them out to us early on Wednesday morning.
Yeah, early. And you can either, I don't think that either Donnie or me mind. I mean, message either one of us on Messenger if you have our phone number. Shoot us a text. Um, if you um, don't be shy. Please email us at pyrounleashpodcast@gmail.com. Ask away, ask questions. I mean, as much as this is a podcast where Donnie and I can have fun and kind of um, talk about things, and both of us are learning. I mean, you guys as the listeners really are why we're doing this. Um, I approached Donnie because as much as, like I said, as much as I wanted to learn, as much as I wanted Donnie to learn, I want the upcoming pyros to learn as much, if not more, glean as much as you can from these podcasts. And if you have questions, please, please, please reach out to us, and we will ask Scott, we will ask Zach. They're just an absolute wealth of knowledge when it comes to Cobra. I mean, they're really, Scott really runs it well, and I'm looking forward to talking to them. Zach is just an absolute great guy. If you're on Facebook, he's known as Cobra Zach. I don't know if he's still going by Cobra Zach on Facebook anymore or not. That's what he was
Yeah,
known
I think he
for.
still is. I think he's still.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, still.
So
Yeah, he's the backboard of that customer support they have
yeah,
over
he
there at
is.
Cobra. So
Yeah. All right. Well, a little bit more news. We've been working kind of on the back end a little bit. We actually have launched a Discord page. You can go there and you can ask us questions. You can kind of talk about the episodes that we've been talking about. Obviously, there's rules on there, this, that, and the other, general discussion. We're also going to have some vendor info. You can find information about our sponsors. If you want to jump on there and talk to other pyros and ask them questions, why we have a couple lounges in there that you guys can hang out in, and chat with fellow Pyro Unleashed podcast listeners. Really looking forward to all that. I know there's pyro clubs in there now, so we're going to be putting different pyro clubs close to your region. Really strongly encourage you to join a club, and maybe we'll get somebody on from one of the clubs here, Donnie, soon, and really talk about why it's important as a new pyro to join a club. Really great information
yeah,
coming from club shoots. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And I think the purpose of our Discord is not only to interact with our listeners and also but provide maybe some resources out there, like you said, the vendor information, sponsors, club
yes,
information. So some information for people who are maybe newer in the pyro and are looking for some more resources or some more assistance. That information we're going to have out there for everybody as well. But yeah, well, a place for people to come and just talk about our episodes, ask questions, just some after episode chatter, maybe even if you have questions or suggestions for upcoming episodes,
yep, great.
feel free to hop over there. But we'll be sharing the link out for everybody to come and join us over there and have some fun and yeah, get some good information over there and be able to kind of chat with all of your fellow pyros out there.
Yeah, and I know Donnie, both you and I are pretty heavy in Discord, so we'll be in there. We'll be right there alongside of you guys, answering questions, asking questions. Yeah, please come be a part of it and hang out, and yeah, it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, because I helped set up and manage the KCAP one that we
Right.
started a little over a year ago, and this thing looks like peanuts compared to the size of the KCAP server and the amount of discussions. So, with the 100 KCAP members, we all chat constantly all day long, every day. It's a great place to
So
kind of
they're gonna
collaborate and
jump over to our podcast Discord now,
I
right? Is
I
that what
will
I'm hearing?
probably yeah I can probably get half the club probably into our
Wow.
podcast chat
Yeah.
and probably take over. So I mean, yeah, we're gonna
See
have
where it goes.
KCAP take over this
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be fun. So yeah, we'll get the link out there. Feel free to hop in and join us. When you come in, there's an introduction form. David and I will have our own introductions in there, so be sure to come in and introduce yourself. Let us know who you are, where you're at, what you're looking for, um, and kind of start some conversations when you get in there. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely excited to see where this kind of goes and increase some engagement in the pyro community.
Yeah. Most definitely. Yep. Looking forward to that. And yeah, with that, I think that's about it for this week, Donnie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it's been a great week and it's been fun and definitely looking forward to some of the upcoming episodes we got and we're getting close to our halfway mark of the season probably
Halfway
here
mark
coming
through
up
the
in a few
season's coming
weeks.
up. Isn't that crazy? This
So,
is
because I think we're going to plan to run through the end of May and
the end
then
of May. Yeah.
take a few months off to kind of process the fireworks season.
Yeah. Yeah. And little birdie told me we're going to have Craig Hetherington back on us for our first episode. Yeah. So that's going to be right before PGI. Um, So if you have any questions for Craig, again, feel free to reach out. I know we had some great questions already for him. Maybe there was some stuff that we didn't answer. Maybe there was some questions we didn't ask. Feel free, please. Yeah, Discord is a great one to put it in. Shoot us a text, shoot us an email, get those questions rolling into us, and we'll do our best to ask him. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're asking the question, then somebody else is wanting to know the answer, and they're just shy about wanting to ask the same question. So I know I've been in that boat myself, and it's always better to ask a question. I mean, really, people say no question is stupid, and to an extent, yep. I agree.
Most of the
To an
time.
extent.
Most of the time.
But no, that's not to shy anybody away from asking questions at all.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So, hey, we're going to call this a night here, I guess, and wrap up episode 6. Again, guys, thank you for listening in and hanging out with us for another week of Pyro Unleashed. And in the meantime, until we see you next week, go out and unleash your inner pyro.
This has been another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Come back each week for more industry insights, technical tips, and awesome pyro designs. Have fun out there, be safe, and as always, remember to unleash your inner pyro with us.